All right, welcome back to another NBA video. And this time, I want to talk about just this whole NBA season recapped. Just talk about how it went, good things, bad things, and yeah, just overall my opinions on the season. Well, if you're watching this, as you know, the finals ended. What? Let me check. Finals ended Tuesday. So that 3 days ago. And wow, the finals. I guess this is the first thing I'll talk about. I thought it was gonna be very lopsided. Like when the Suns went up 2-0, I was like, I don't know if the Bucks got this. You know, Chris Middleton, he wasn't. I mean, he was playing decent, but he wasn't. He wasn't playing like he was before. Jrue Holiday still couldn't buy a bucket. Giannis was solid the entire series. It was just the surrounding cast. They couldn't. They just couldn't. They couldn't stop the Suns until Game 3. Bucks go back to Milwaukee. This was a big game changer for the series. So let's talk about it. Suns lose by 20 points. 20 points. And 20 points? That's a crusher. Even though Giannis 41 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. He got his. Chris Middleton didn't even have a good Chris Middleton-esque game. He had 18 points. He shot well from the field. But the biggest thing was definitely Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday came in and he just started scoring. He just started scoring. And it was just like, okay, this is what we expected from him. And he's finally performing. I mean, he hit 5 threes. And it felt like this was the first time we seen him hit a 3 the entire playoffs. So that definitely helped. But man, the Bucks, they made the right changes. And then, I mean, it was their Coach Bud, actually coached a good game. I mean, what more can you say? Jrue Holiday made, what, 3-4 threes in the third quarter, which definitely pushed the Bucks to just, alright, saying, alright, we could take this. We could do this right now. He gave them the boost. That's for sure. He gave them the boost. Because, I mean, they were probably giving them those shots and just letting them, like, oh yeah, go ahead, take those. We want you taking those. But Devin Booker only had 10 points. They contained him. Then in game 4, it was a closer one. This is Chris Paul's worst game. He picked the worst time to have a bad game. 10 points, but he had 5 turnovers. D-Book came back and had a great bounce back game, but it just wasn't enough. The Bucks, they got a 40-pointer out of Chris Middleton. I mean, what more can you ask for? Giannis didn't even score 30. He didn't need to be the scorer. When they had Chris Middleton, he was the closer. He came in and he got the job done. Bucks won by 6, tie series. It's like, okay, all right, they got the momentum. Now they're going to Phoenix. I I expected them to lose this. But when you have Middleton with 29, Holiday with 27, and Giannis with 32, it's hard to lose one of those games. Booker, another 40-point performance. You couldn't stop him. Just like you couldn't stop Giannis. I mean, Booker had one bad game. But this was the game, I believe, where my bad. Devin Booker gets double teamed near the free throw line, and Jrue Holiday gets a steal. Then it led to the fast break dunk by Giannis, tossed up on the alley-oop by Jrue Holiday. At that moment, like, the tides have shifted. I really thought at that moment, after seeing that play, I was like, man, the Suns are done. The Suns are done. That play it took all the life out of them. I mean, they lost by 4, and that's 3 straight losses. I don't know. What do you do? What do you do after losing 3 straight? After being up 2-0, 2 games, and then you're champions. We're talking about y'all differently, but it's not how it went. We all know how it went. Bucks came out Game 6 in Milwaukee, 65,000 fans outside, and what? 29 inside? 29,000? I mean, what? The Bucks have a very electrifying crowd. I mean, those guys get in the game. Like, they really get in the game. Maybe one of the loudest arenas in the NBA. They wanted it bad. So did the Bucks. The Bucks wanted it bad. I mean, Giannis finishes it off with 50 points. One of the best finals games of all time. Especially in a closeout game. Where it kind of felt like they needed to finish it here. They got all the momentum. The Suns are down. Finish them. And that's what Giannis did. And he dropped 50. He dropped 50. Bobby Portis had 16 coming off the bench. What more could you ask? D-Book, 20, not even 20, 19 points. Chris Paul had 26. It just wasn't enough. They didn't do enough to win this series. They took their foot off the gas in Game 3 and let the Bucks get back into the series. It seemed like every game had a crucial play, whether it's the Giannis block on Aiden at the rim, or the Chris Paul fall on the ground turnover, or the D-Book double team strip turnover. The plays at the very end were just working for the Bucks. And what more can you say except congratulate them? I mean, they're the champions. Whether you want to discredit them because they played a bunch of injured teams just like the Suns, at the end of the day, they're still champs. Okay. They're getting the ring. They won the trophy. What are you going to do? And I was seriously debating, thinking of making a video after Game 2. Nah, my bad. Excuse me. Game 3. When the Bucks were down at halftime, I was thinking, what is Jrue Holiday getting paid for? He's getting paid $23 million to come out here and not be able to score. It wasn't performing until the second half when he was a spark plug for the entire team and dropped 4 threes. I mean, can you imagine how much of a boost that gave them? A lot. A lot. So, can't bash on him. Because, I mean, he performed well enough. He was good on defense. He wasn't a liability. Like Aiden. Aiden was a liability in Game 6 guarding Giannis. They wanted to solo him up every time. Giannis just kept getting to the paint, dominating his will. I think Giannis hit 17 free throw shots out of 19. He became Steph Curry at the line. I mean, no one expects Giannis to hit 17 free throws. But if they're just going to keep following him voluntarily, that's what you're going to get. He's going to start making them. I expect in the offseason, when he comes back, I expect a more polished free throw shooting, a better form, better motion. He's going to come back and he's going to shoot over 80% from the line. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think he needs to work on in the offseason. Instead of trying to shoot threes, work on your free throws. Because if you can hit free throws, these teams will get closed out a lot sooner. A lot sooner. And for the Suns, what's next? I'll do the Suns first since they lost. What's next for the Suns? Oh, you got a solid young team. No guarantees that Chris Paul is coming back. May have been a one and done thing. Chris Paul may stay. We don't know yet. I'll make another video about free agency and the draft soon. If he accepts his player option, I think you have a solid chance of running it back. But this time, you got to expect to play tougher Western teams. Healthy Lakers. Healthy Warriors. That's going to be scary. You already know Nuggets is going to be in it. You know they're going to be in it. They always are. They have the MVP. And they may pick up one or two more players to just help them, give them the edge. I don't know what the Jazz are going to do, but the Jazz are always solid in the regular season. Postseason, not so much. I've been hearing reports that Kawhi isn't going to sign with the Clippers again, so you may not have to worry about the Clippers, but it just means you're going to have to worry about another team. I feel like the Grizzlies could be a solid team next season. I mean, what I'm trying to say is don't expect the competition to have injured players, an injured star player in every single series and get another cakewalk. Because, I mean, they played injured teams the entire playoffs. Kawhi out in the conference finals. Murray out in the semifinals. AD out, injured but still playing LeBron in the first round. I'm not saying they wouldn't have made it to the finals if they were playing healthy teams, but it would have definitely been harder. It would have been harder. But I'm not going to take anything away from them because they were playing injured teams. You know, you're not supposed to go out there and lose just because they have an injured player. I mean, you go out and win no matter what the circumstances are. Full healthy team, full injured team. Doesn't matter. Your only job is to go out and stay alive and try to make it to the finals. Now for the Bucks. Coming off the title. What's next for the Bucks? They'll still have their three core players. What I'll say about the Bucks. They have a solid team. I have no doubt that if they're all healthy next season, they'll be a solid pick to make the finals again. But then you got to worry about the Brooklyn Nets. If once they get healthy, I mean, they're the most dangerous team in the league. The Sixers, if they trade Ben Simmons, I don't know, let's just throw out there for Damian Lillard. That's a very dangerous team. I mean, with all their good role players, that's a crazy team. That's a team you don't want to verse. Up and coming teams on the rise like the Hawks. I mean, I think the Hawks have found their key to success. They got a good coach. They got Trae Young. They may make some moves in the offseason to bring in some more players. Who knows? Miami, here's what I say about Miami. Miami had it tough, just like the Lakers. 70 days of rest before you go straight into your next season where you're playing games every other day. Them boys were worked. Expect to see them a lot better this coming season. Because, I mean, they made it to the finals a month and a half before the regular season started. They'll have VO back, whether they trade him or not. I don't know. Who knows? But teams are only getting better. But the Bucks are going to be solid, and so are the Suns. These are both playoff teams next year, whether you like it or not. These teams will be here for a couple more years. As long as they're all healthy, these teams will be around. I think they proved that this playoffs. They proved that. They proved that they're here to stay. And you just got to deal with it. But now, my opinion on the regular season and I guess the overall playoffs. The bubble was awful. The bubble sucked. No one liked the bubble. Unless you're a Lakers fan. But seeing them in their actual arenas, again, at the start of the season, no fans. It was like, alright, we're getting somewhere. For them to be full capacity in the playoffs, you gotta take that as a win if you're the NBA. I mean, you made it through. Things are getting somewhat back to normal. Knock on wood. So hopefully they don't have to have another shortened season with shortened rest times to get back to a sense of normalcy. With the playoffs, I thought the playoffs were solid. They were all right to watch. You know, it sucks when a lot of stars get injured, like it did this year. But you know, you gotta make do with what you got. And whether that's with injured teams or not, there was still a lot of enjoyable games. Like I really enjoyed the Milwaukee-Brooklyn series. That was very good. The Trae Young versus New York series. That was a fun one to watch. Lakers and Suns. Even though the Lakers were down, that was still a fun series to watch. Clippers Jazz. Very entertaining. Along with the Clippers and Mavericks. I forgot about the Mavericks. Mavericks need to make some pickups in the offseason and get rid of Kristaps. They need to trade him for somebody else. But the playoffs, it was still pretty good. There was a lot of good series. Some bad ones. Like a bad one for me would probably be that Nuggets Suns series. That wasn't really entertaining. It was very one-sided. Nuggets clearly were outmatched without their player, Jamal Murray. So, what are you going to do about it? But my thoughts going into the offseason. This next season has a lot of promise. I mean, the draft's going to be good. Free agency, hopefully, spicy. A lot of moves. maybe some good trades. I mean, it can only go up. Knock on wood again. It can only go up from here. So that's really what I gotta say about the playoffs this year. It was solid. It wasn't the best playoff series we've the playoffs best playoffs we've ever seen. I mean, there's definitely been some better ones, but it was all right. It wasn't the worst thing ever to watch. It was great to see fans back in the stands. Made the game way more enjoyable. It's just because without them in the stands, it just doesn't have that energy. A home court advantage isn't really a home court advantage. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, gotta travel somewhere else to play a game. No fans, no home court advantage. I mean, because the Bucks fans, whether you like it or not, Bucks and Bucks and Suns fans, there we go, definitely changed the tides of some games. I mean, they were loud, ready to win. So, that's that, honestly. Looking forward to a good offseason. Hopefully leading to another good NBA season. But that's for another time to talk about. I'll make a video probably on draft predictions and off-season predictions in a week, 2 weeks. I'm going to let this sit. In the meantime, I'm going to try to upload some more content on my channel. Stay tuned. Hey, man, if y'all enjoyed this, like, subscribe, share it with your homies. You know, we on the grind. We on the grind. We trying to get up there, trying to make a name for ourselves. So truly, if you enjoyed this, like, sub, share, leave a comment. Let me know some things you want to see, some things you don't want to see. You know what I mean? We're all here for critique and suggestions. Alright, well, that's all I got to say for now. Till next time.